Hello, 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 hello. Here we are again. More questions, more thoughts. How are we doing? How are you all doing? Are you all doing well? Are you all doing okay today? I hope so. I hope so, because here it's a little bit cloudy. But it's nice to keep your spirits up. It's nice to just try to stay happy in a world full of unhappiness, I guess. Or so it seems. Anyway, moving on. Last night, when I was unwinding, you know, everyone has their different ways of unwinding and how they want to do things. I seem to find that after maybe reading a bit of a book or playing a game on my phone, that I do what most people do, and I'll go on TikTok or I'll go on Facebook. I'll do a little bit of brain rotting and just scroll through the algorithm. But you don't really need any effort, and it doesn't take any mental drain from you moving your thumb. So it can be mind-numbing, it can be resting. But a question popped into my head, and it was, do you ever find yourself, or do you think we just follow trends, a lip sync, whatever it may be? If it does well, it gets 1 million views, people jump on it, and that's the thing. I remember in England a few years ago when Toms came out, and they blew up. They became a craze. Saw someone wearing them the other day, but everyone was wearing them. I don't really keep up with fashion. I mean, I'm wearing Crustios. It's a nice colour and it's baggy. It's me, so that's all that matters to me. It cost me, I think, what, £12 from Primark. I'm not bothered, but I know that as a teenager, or if you're adolescent growing up, those sort of things matter to you more. So you want to jump on that bandwagon. But what does it really do for you? You know, following this fashion. It doesn't really do anything, you know. Maybe somebody notices that, oh, you've got them as well, yeah, they're really cool, I like them. And then you don't have them and nobody compliments you, but it doesn't matter. Or it could go the opposite way and somebody could say something mean or something you don't like because you're not wearing the latest fashion trend. So what? So what if we're not doing the latest trend? It shouldn't matter. Are we happy? Are we content? But that's my first question to you guys. Do you think that we just follow trends? Here's one for you. Because again, following trends, staying along that same sort of line, there was a thing that I noticed that I hadn't seen in a while, and it's where people were helping the homeless, you know, and they were giving them pizzas or whatever. But I've noticed it became a trend again. It was all over social media. I think there's a couple of other people where there was this one person, I think he's in America, but he orders food like 50 sandwiches or 100 sandwiches and stuff like that for the homeless. But the reason why I question you about that is because, again, you know, I don't see it. A couple of weeks ago, I went to the local supermarket down the road. I want to say mid-50s, 55-year-old woman, and she had got her shopping. You know those bags where they got 2 wheels on the side. You know, you see a lot of old people use them, but she had one of them. But then she had 2 bags in this arm and then another one on top that she couldn't fit in. Now, you could say that, has she bought too much that she can't carry? Has she spent a little bit extra? Has she got maybe, like, let's say she got a little bottle of Irish cream for herself, or, you know, maybe she's got an extra pack of yogurts that they were on offer. Who knows? Who cares? But my point being is, She'd walked out of the shop, and I'd seen this hill, and this hill was a steep hill. And I thought, myself, saw this woman, and I thought, I've seen her. I can't not help her. I've got a car. We've got an empty passenger seat there. What am I doing? Why would I not help her? It wouldn't be right. I've just seen her struggle, she took about maybe 10, 15 steps and stopped for a breath. And I thought, if I drive off now, so I said to her, where are you going? Where are you going, darling? She went, I'm going home. So I said, do you want a lift? She went, no. I said, no, please, let me give you a lift. She went, are you sure? I said, yeah. I said, all right then. So she got in the car. It was probably about 5 minutes up the hill, driving. So for her, it would have been like a 15, 20-minute walk or something. And she tried to give me some money, and I said, no, you're fine. She went, fine, don't worry about it. And before she got out, she went, oh, it's the cost of living getting to me. And I went, okay, what do you mean? And it was, she hadn't gone and bought anything additional extra. She'd bought, I remember her saying that she'd bought, I think, a birthday card for a nephew or a grandchild or something, and then she'd bought a birthday gift. So she hadn't actually bought anything additional to what she would buy, for a weekly shop to keep her going. But she just couldn't afford the taxi. She couldn't afford to spend the extra £6 on a taxi to get her back home, because that was £24 a month extra for her that she couldn't reason with parting. My question to you is, what was the last thing you did for someone without having to get a gain from it? I didn't set out to do that. I'd got up, gone to get my partner a lunch, gone and got me a little nibble. Maybe not even done something without a gain, but when was the last time you thought of did something and when was the last time that you thought, let me do that for someone, let me do this good deed? Anyway, that was the case between that, and I felt for this older woman. It was upsetting. Do you ever find it a struggle? I ask you as a struggle because I found it a struggle with my anger and growing up, and especially maybe against more of an authority figure. But do you struggle with respect? Such as the term respect. Who deserves your respect? Who should get it? Who shouldn't? I don't think there is a thing of no one shouldn't have your respect. Everyone should have. It's just decency, isn't it? Handicapped person was to get on a bus, pregnant woman, older pensioner was to get on the bus. You would show them respect and offer them the seat. It's not about what have they done for me or anything like that. That's just a common decency. If somebody says something to you and they say, "Oh, don't do that," it's disrespectful to their property or them or whatever. It's not. You shouldn't have to think, "Oh, well, they haven't done anything for me. It's not my property. I don't own that." It's somebody worked for that. It's not a case of what have they done to, in my eyes, that I need to be like, yeah, I respect you for that, or what have they done for me that it's like, oh, I owe you one, here's my respect. There's a saying, short arms, deep pockets, and it comes from where you can take a lot, but you're not as easy to give. It relates a lot to today's society. Because of the way that society's gone, people have isolated themselves. My uncle was a prison guard officer. There's a stigma to the police, isn't there? There's I don't respect the police, and what have they done for me? And when I was in high school, when I was hanging around people, I wouldn't tell them that. I didn't want to lose that respect, that street respect. I didn't want to lose that sort of, well, one of your family members is like government employed, is the police, is a pig. Do you know what I mean? In turn, that came down to that comes down to many different aspects. That comes down to a point that we mentioned in the last video about how we see ourselves with society. That also is a point of I didn't have enough respect for myself to say, no, yeah, this is him, but it's my family, but it's not me. Sort of like an honour, you know, there's no shame in it. I will admit that there is a massive error. There is a horrible shift in the way that the policing is right now, and that is why there's a big disconnect between us, the public, and the police. That can be for discussion for another day. That is my question for that one. I may have gone off a little bit there, or may have diverted a bit, but do you think that everybody deserves your respect, or just it's those who have done something for you? Or do you think that actually no, they are a human, they do deserve to be treated how I would want to treat them, how I would want to be treated as a human, with decency? My final question for today, I like to think of it as an easy one, but then at the same time, going back to the last video, I'm not truly happy yet with myself and in life. I'll get there. Do we need as much as we want? And that is, I guess, a personal question, but also a question as a whole to the mass. A lot of what I'm trying to do here is get us to sort of think together and act as a whole, maybe be a strong community. Not maybe, definitely. I think we need that. There needs to be a sense of humanity in this world. And people have that, absolutely. Like, there is good, there is bad. You can't have one without the other. There's just a hefty, quite noticeable balance towards the bad, I feel. Yeah. When I say do we need as much as what we want, we need water, we need food, and we need air. We need those things to survive. We all want a house, we all want a car. Some of us might want kids, some of us might not. Me personally, I don't want kids right now. I'm not ready for kids, I know that. We can cover that at another point and I'll explain how I feel to that. People are going to need a fridge. They're going to need a fridge to keep the meats and stuff cold, you know. I mean, we did do it years ago where it was done in dry stores and stuff like that. But yeah, we need electricity, we need lights, you know. I guess we also don't need it, but we want phones and tablets and commodities, you know, entertainment. So we need electricity. We need love, and we need compassion. We need to be strong and we need to be firm, but not to the point where we shut ourselves down and turn off and shut other people down in turn. We get lost in the sauce, so to speak, because a good example would be there's kids full of classrooms and the teacher says, what do you want to be? One says, I want to be a firefighter. One says, I want to be an astronaut. One says, I want to be the president or prime minister. One says, I want to be an artist. One says, I want to be an actor. One says, I want to do computers. One says, I want to work in the forest. Or one says, I want to work with trees. I want to work with animals. I want to be a vet. You know, there's all this variety. And then as we get older, we end up getting lost, right? And then it becomes, we don't know. Some people stick to their guns and they lock on to what they want. They keep it there in their mind. And some people don't have a choice, you know. And at the end of the day, I guess it comes down to we have bills to pay, so we end up doing these things that we might not want to do, but we need to do them. But in turn, we lose who we are, you know, because especially with how we're advancing, gone from 8-hour days to 10-hour days. You know, they've gone from 5 workday weeks to 6, and then you've got to work a weekend. You know, they're requiring more. At the end of that day, you come home or you're done and you're like, oh, I want to shut out now. Right, I want to watch this film, I want to have a drink, I want to have a smoke, or I want to play my game. And then you're like, oh, that new game's come out, so I'm going to buy that game. Oh, my friend Jerry, he's bought this game, so I'm going to buy that game so I can play it with him. We see a paycheck and think, right, new hoodie, new AirPods, new phone, new laptop, new car. Can't afford the car, I'll finance the car. And then that's a monthly cost. And then that's something to bog you down in. But then it's another thing that you're not sure of, you're lost in. Anyway, I might say this every video. Everything that I say, I've thought of, and I just want to see what the mass opinion is on the same thing. I don't believe anyone is ever alone in any one thing. You know, there's so many people out there that by chance you are not the only person who was just stubbed your toe. You are not the only person who has got a missing back tooth. Do you know what I mean? There's so many. Wait, there's billions of us. So yeah, I do think there's other people out there who've had similar sort of thoughts. Everything that I do, everything that I talk about is open for discussion. Always has been. I'm always going to be honest with you. I'm always going to be transparent with you. If you liked it, if you want more, if you want me to change, if you have anything, if there's something that doesn't quite feel right or doesn't flow, hit at me in the comments. One thing I won't change is the style. It will always be questions that we thought of that will come to you. Let other people think of them. And they will always be honest and open. That will always stay the same. But hey, listen, I'm willing to change. If you feel like it might be shot better over there, we'll go over there. But, you know, everything within reason. We will be funny, we will laugh, we will joke. But it is all seriousness as well. So, listen, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Love you lot. In a bit. Doug, we're off. Take care.